Strong economy. We got a blockbuster jobs report. More than 350,000 jobs were added in January. That was nearly double what analysts expected.
The American Rescue Plan helped working people and left no one behind.
But they are willing to they can get the people for a little less money. But
yeah, we do have people being laid off. It feels like we're getting announcements all the time.
But the Amazon people get laid off. They're like $300,000 people. Do you want them? Those people cost you a fortune.
More jobs in 1 year than ever before in the history of the United States of America.
Well, not the corporate staff.
The 27,000, whatever, that they laid off.
Yeah, they were not laying off people from the distribution centers.
No, but I'm saying that there are jobs if you want them in the economy. I think if you're Jay Powell, you're very grateful that you didn't join the claque of March cutters.
You know, since I've been in office, we've been carrying out my economic vision.
I still can't believe the victory lap that a lot of these leftists who really don't know what they're talking about, but they'll take a victory lap anytime a jobs report comes out, anytime the stock market shows good news. And thankfully, there is a lot of good news in the stock market lately. They'll even take a victory lap anytime inflation dips from what has been record after record after record. When it dips just a little bit, they'll try to gaslight you, tell you that they have it under control. They do not. We are still on this ride. But the thing that gets me is these are the same people that told us their focus and their mission was going to be from the bottom up and the middle out. None of this is bottom up or middle out. And the truth is, yes, it is fantastic that people are working. It's heartbreaking, of course, that there's over 9 million people now working 2 or 3 jobs. That's pretty sad, but I'll give it to them. It is fantastic that jobs exist, and I'm sure we should give credit to Joe Biden for every single one of them. That said, Joe Biden might want to stop bragging about the jobs numbers so hard. He won't, but he probably should. And the funny thing is, the left right now is praising Larry Kudlow. They're actually more like they're using Larry Kudlow, like Fox News host gives Biden credit on jobs. But they're actually missing most of what he said. And yes, the jobs numbers are a shining light, and we'd be completely sunk if it wasn't for that. So at least we have that going for us. But I think it's important that they probably listen to everything that the man said.
All right, let me talk a little bit about that. We had a blowout jobs report, more than twice the consensus expectation. Now, I know many of my conservative friends are trying to drill holes in this report. But you know what, folks? It is what it is. It's a very strong report. Not every economic stat should be viewed through a political lens. I've been in this business a very long time, and sometimes you just have to throw away the ballot box and just recognize the numbers. They are what they are. This was a very strong report. 353,000 gain in non-farm payrolls, a very big number. Prior 2 months revised up by 126,000, another big number. And the bottom line here is more Americans are working. And that is a good thing, no matter what your party registration is. Also a good thing, worker wages continue to improve. Average hourly earnings for production workers, a.k.a. middle-class, blue-collar folks, they're up 4.8% over the past 12 months. And you know what? Their rate of productivity, that is output per hour, a very important economic efficiency and growth indicator. Well, productivity rose 2.7% last year. That's a good number. So the workforce is earning its pay hike. Plus, over the past 3 months, inflation-adjusted real wages increased by 4.5%. So typical working families got a nice real wage boost for a change. Unfortunately, over the duration of Joe Biden's presidency, real average earnings are still down 2.4%. That's the affordability crisis that I've been talking about so much. Not even a good jobs report in January can erase that affordability problem. Through December, which are the latest data, showed that real average weekly earnings have actually fallen almost 5% over the course of Mr. Biden's presidency. That's why the recent TIP poll shows that 44% of Americans are still living paycheck to paycheck. It's the affordability crisis. January's very good jobs report does not erase the fact that food prices up over 1/3, gasoline up nearly 30%, and the overall CPI up nearly 18%. A lot of big government Biden spending is behind all these numbers. Over the past year, for example, while nominal GDP is up $1.5 trillion, federal debt has increased $2.5 trillion. That is a lot of spending and borrowing. Last year's budget deficit was $2 trillion. This year's probably going to be over $2 trillion. So despite low unemployment and a resilient job market, the Bidens are still running a roughly 8% deficits to GDP number, which is unheard of in a peacetime recovery. Government spending in the new fiscal year is already up 8.5%. Now, there are some glitches in the January jobs report. For one, the small business household survey did decline 31,000 after falling 683,000 in December. That's not good. None of this jobs euphoria jives, by the way, with proliferating layoff reports. Challenger Gray, well, they report over 82,000 layoffs in January. Over 23,000 of that coming from the financial industry, another 16,000 from the tech sector, and over 6,000 from food producers. So the good number is the good number, but we will see if it is sustainable throughout the year. Meanwhile, a word to Wall Street. The Fed may not cut interest rates again in my lifetime.
It's absolutely right. Conservatives should not slam positive jobs numbers. In fact, nobody should slam positive jobs numbers. I mean, in a climate like we have, we should be thankful for what we can get, and we got to give credit where credit's due. But the real reason we shouldn't slam positive job numbers is because it only detracts from the actual real truth of the real hard numbers. Yes, people have jobs, but even people with jobs, in fact, probably especially people with jobs because they don't qualify for a lot of the assistance that is out there. But people, whether they have jobs or not, and unfortunately, even a lot of people working what they thought was their dream job, cannot afford to live. They cannot afford to make ends meet. You know, real people are really struggling. You know, they're working harder than they ever have before, but their lives are harder than they've ever been before. And whether it's food or gas or energy or mortgage or rent, people are getting bled from every single direction, much more than they ever were, especially much more than they were just a few years ago. And all this is happening while they watch the people that they put in power literally gaslight them and tell them that they've never ever been better because the stock market is soaring. At a time where, if you look at the data, a lot of those people have cut back their 401k contributions just to have enough liquid cash to actually get to work. But they think they can gaslight you so hard that you'll think you're the only one struggling or something like that. I think that's their goal. I don't know. They want you to think that it's your fault, not theirs. And that, you know, just keep voting them. It'll turn. It's nuts. And it's crazy that it is coming to this for so many people. But I hope that people actually find a way to vote in November with their actual best interest in mind and not some artificial, low information, single issue, gaslight driven nonsense that we've been voting on. But we'll see. You know, we might be out of options. You know, if we're not already out of options, we're definitely running out of options. But that's just my take, guys. Let me know yours in the comments. If you haven't already, be a part of the channel's growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.